Happy Friday, and welcome here to another edition of Husker Online Headlines. Sean Callahan, Steve Sipple, taking you into the weekend. And before we get into the show, Husker Online Headlines brought to you by StayHome.Care. If you're not familiar with them, they offer many of the same types of personalized care you might find in nursing homes, right in the comfort of your home. Whether your loved one is young or old or living with a disability, recovering from surgery, or just simply needs extra help when they're sick, StayHome.Care provides consistent, compassionate support from personal care and companionship to daily tasks like laundry, meal prep, and assistance with the appointments or outings. We're here for you, your loved ones, when you can't be there. So give them a call at 402-205-2233 to learn more about them, the services they can offer. Again, that's StayHome.Care, the title sponsor here of the Husker Online Headline Show. But Sip, we're going into the weekend, and Nebraska is going to be preparing for that second fall camp scrimmage. We got a little bit of a tease from Dana Holgorsen what to expect. Scrimmage number one, the starters got about 40 snaps. Each unit got about 40.
There you go.
It sounds like they're going to follow a similar plan with a 40-ish snap load for each unit.
For each unit, and what Dana Holgorsen today, Friday, addressed the media, and he had a very specific element of this scrimmage that he's looking for. They've worked on situational things throughout camp. They really haven't even tried to sustain drives. So now what he wants to see is it's kind of I would say very important that he wants to see if they can sustain a drive. He said, we really haven't sustained drives. It's been all situational stuff. So what's that mean to you? Like red zone.
Second and longs, third and shorts, third and longs, red zone.
Yeah, there you go. So that's what they're trying to get accomplished tomorrow, is to see if those three different groups, first team, second team, third team, can actually get first downs on third down, get first downs on critical moments, and sustain. Can they get an eight play drive going? That's what he wants to see.
And it's going to be a later scrimmage window than what we not your traditional kind of morning.
Right.
They're going to go. The window we've been told is like a 2:30 to 5:30 window,
which makes sense in the context of having 2:30 kickoffs, for instance, against Michigan. Right. If I were the head coach, it's going to be excessively hot tomorrow. But I think you got to stay with it. Right.
And it's open. I mean, it's our understanding. Families will be, so there'll be a large probably group of, I think all the players' parents are allowed to come to this one. And
they are.
So there'll probably be a large group of people that attends this one. But again,
are media allowed?
No. Come on.
But there will be other people.
I did read, speaking of media at practices, the UCLA media corps was pretty upset. You know, people have to drive all the way. It's 2-hour commutes to go to these. They had an open session.
Okay.
And they got 8 minutes, and it was only stretching.
That's that. Hey, Deshaun Foster, that's not cool.
That's Little League crap.
Yeah, that's crap. That's Little League. That's Bush League. Yeah, I'm sorry.
They do.
I'm sorry. We're being that strong. But that's Bush League.
They do their camp somewhere else, like stay in a hotel. And I saw one of the guys. Yeah, I did a 2-hour drive to get out there. And then
Deshaun Foster might say, "Well, look, you got to see the players. I mean, you got to actually lay eyes on some
stretching."
I know, but you got to actually lay eyes on some of the guys. Anyway, tomorrow there's a lot. What are you most interested in, Sean?
I want to hear about the defense too. I think we always want to focus on the offense, but how does does the defense get some wins?
Yeah.
How do they tackle?
That's big, because last week, that's what Rule identified as the area that needs to get better quickly. And sorry to cut you off, but it's an area that I think most coaches in the nation would say we just don't get to work on it enough.
No, so the tackling in this scrimmage with what really is a young defensive line, inexperienced defensive line group, and then a linebacker group that's veteran but young in the same respects.
Few of them, yeah.
There's
not all of them.
Well, there's newcomers, there's young guys, and there's a couple of veterans.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good mix.
Yeah.
But that group, and then the secondary, I think we kind of have an idea who some of those key guys are, but I just think the defense too, like we always talk so much about Dylan and Dana and the offense, but can this defense walk away with some good moments tomorrow?
I think in the context of what Matt Rule said after last week's scrimmage, which was the offense, how did he put it? Was really, 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 really efficient. That's what he said. 4 reallys, really efficient. So what I'm telling you is after last week, the story was the offense. That's what I was writing about, and Archie Wilson. So yeah, let's hear it. I think that tomorrow when you go to the press session after the scrimmage, you want to kind of lock in on the defense. Get a little, ask some pointed questions about the defense.
But flipping it back to the offense, the offensive line is a real test. I mean, I forget who said this in the post practice today because we were there for quite a while, and one of the comments was that top 8 is really established. And
Holgorsen,
and he said I haven't been around, where you have this much veteran experience.
That might have been Donovan. It was either Donovan
on an O-line. I mean, just the number of guys that they have that are, in that top 8, and we know what it is. It's, and all of those guys, 7 of the 8 are juniors and seniors, and 5th, 6th year, 4th year guys, with Gunnar Gatula being the only sophomore, redshirt sophomore. So you've got 8, I think, really established linemen with Turner Corcoran now back.
Yeah, everything that we heard today, and mostly I'm talking about from Dana Holgorsen and Donovan Raiola, boy, people are now, I mean, I'm just telling you, the tone was this. It's arrived. The offensive line is where they want it to be now, right? Is that what you got? That's what I got from today. I mean, if you read the quotes, when you hear the quotes, that's essentially what Donovan said. That this is where, obviously, there's always work to do. You always prepare for the worst, he said, but it's where they want to be in terms of depth and veterans, with guys pushing those veterans. But yeah, it's a good picture. But again, I go back to the defense. The thing you want to ask tomorrow, right after the scrimmage, is how was the tackling? Because that's what Rule identified last week as an area that we need to lock in on it hard.
Like if you hear like Mekhi Nelson popped a 45-yard run, does that raise alarm bells? Or you're like, ooh, Mekhi Nelson's good. I mean, that's when you do a scrimmage. Those are like the things you kind of have to wrestle a little bit.
Right.
Like, did a guy make a good play or did guys miss tackles?
Oh, I think that if Rule came out tomorrow, hope he's not listening to this because he'll fashion his answers accordingly. But if he would come out tomorrow and say the offense just had an extraordinary day, it's back-to-back scrimmages,
But it's the more veteran put together unit.
Right.
Veteran line.
And the world's changed. Remember when we used to cover this time of year, we'd cover practice, and the defense would always be ahead early in camp. Because why? Because the offense, there's so much timing involved in offense. But now
the OTAs,
it's a different world because the offense is together throughout the year.
Like Dana Holgorsen said today, they've done the install now 4 times.
4 times.
I'd love to know, like in 02, like how many times Frank Solich did the install.
Right.
Like where would it be different now versus then?
So it's now sometimes when you hear install, you conjure up an image of a walkthrough. Well, there's that, but they're going over there. I mean, you've been over there in the summer where it looks like a full-blown practice.
It would, yeah.
Yeah. So they're rolling, but a defense, so people understand, defense lines up against trash cans. They can't work like an offense does because there's nothing to work against, right? So so what we're saying is they are at a disadvantage to start camp.
The other thing too about this offense, you can't look past what they've done to make it good. I mean, they've obviously invested a lot of money in Dylan Raiola. They had to retain and keep Emmett Johnson here. That cost money. Then they went out and got 2 or 3 elite, I'd say 3, because Cortez Mills was an expensive acquisition to flip his commitment from Oklahoma. Then Dane Key, they were able to beat Georgia head to head. Isaiah Hunter had a lot of people on him. Then you go out and buy 2 arguably $1 million type offensive line pieces. The offense better be good.
Well,
if you invest like that, you better have a good offense.
What they did, this is what I'm going to write. They did this in a lot of ways, but I think and this is my Sunday column teaser, they've alleviated pressure on Dylan. There's a ton of pressure on Dylan. He's got a ton of pressure. I think he's got Arch Manning type pressure. You can debate that all you want. This is a hot fan base. Vortex of the storm here is hot, but they've alleviated some by getting Holgorsen in here, by acquiring the talent you mentioned. The offensive line alleviates pressure on him. I think that Coach Rule being in his third year alleviates pressure on him, because Rule's got a good culture established. All of that works to, I think the special teams will alleviate pressure on him. There's a lot that they've helped Dylan with.
But the elephant in the room is you've got 2 years, arguably, maybe 3. 2 if you're just being with Dylan Raiola.
You could have 3, right?
Well, but he could go pro.
Right.
But 2 good years right now where you could try to elevate this program because you have a quarterback that has high NFL talent.
100.
And you can't squander it.
No.
And they've clearly treated the offseason with that type
urgency.
Well, because if they didn't give Dylan the pieces he needed, he would have been out of here.
Yeah.
I mean, he would have had people saying, like, yeah, you're not going to win with these guys.
Right. But so what they did, they
elevated.
It's a lot of different things that have alleviated pressure. A lot of it is talent acquisition, though.
And they went out and got it. So,
yeah.
Lots there. Again, Husker Online Headlines brought to you by StayHome.Care. Call them at 402-205-2233 to learn more about what they can do for you, your family, your loved ones. Also, we're brought to you by Billings Group. They're a trio of financial advisors made up of Lance and his 2 sons-in-law, Josh and Nate. They're based in Salina, Kansas, and they help clients across the Midwest make smart, confident decisions about their money. From your first real paycheck to your final retirement party, Billings Group is here to walk you through the highs and the lows. Billings Group, financial advisors by your side for life's journey. Visit them at billingsgroup.com. Securities offer registered representatives through client private services. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered by investment advisory representatives through RFG Advisory, registered investment advisor, RFG Advisory, Billings Group, and private client services are unaffiliated entities.
You couldn't do that with a couple zip lines in you.
I mean, I'm pretty much like making my wife's order at Starbucks right now. Like, when you have to do all the modifications to her drink order, that's about what it's like.
Yeah, you did good. That was a good one. You're rolling. You got energy today.
Well, it's Friday.
Yeah. Friday.
You
can fire me for doing that.
We had kind of a fiasco. Like we put up a new basketball hoop.
Yeah.
And we weren't able to actually like remove our old pole because we learned that the original pole was put in literally over the top of the LES line.
Nice.
And so I'm like, yeah.
Not nice.
So we removed our old hoop and bracketed on a new one. And I had a nice man come over and that works as a contractor and did it. There was literally a hornet's nest, like a hotel inside, a wasp nest or whatever, inside the rim.
Wow.
And so he opened it up and this poor guy got stung
multiple times,
2-3 times.
Oh God. Is he okay?
Yeah, he was fine. But so before I came over to practice this afternoon, kind of dealt with a hornet's nest,
a literal hornet's nest. Life's full of little fiascos.
I had spray, but he didn't know that because I wasn't home yet. And he got the hose out and then he was spraying. Carly was out there trying to use her little butterfly net. Way far away.
What a scene.
And so dealt with that.
Yeah. Just a couple hornets is kind of scary. A nest of several.
Yeah. And then others kept coming back, thinking the nest was there and they were pissed.
Great. Wonderful. Yeah, that's the only time I've ever been stung is I stepped on one.
I've been stung in 40 years.
Yeah, I was a kid.
I was a young kid.
Yeah, I stepped on one. It was gruesome. It was gruesome to get stung in the bottom of your foot.
Ooh,
just stepped right on the stinger.
So I had a little energy this after the hornet's nest. I was trying to spray the spray, and the guy's like, "Hey, don't spray."
You're in good shape. Did you have some cranium or something?
That's what I'm drinking right now.
Hello.
And by the way to drink all the blues.
What?
We both kind of like
talking about.
We both kind of like the blue cranium.
Who says I'm drinking them?
And it's kind of this game we got going. Who's going to finish the blues off? Because now we're going to be on the other ones. But this is our favorite.
I'm going to red.
You're going to switch to red. Okay. All right. Let's take
These things help you out.
Oh yeah. I mean, you can tell I'm operating at an elite level over here.
If you do say so yourself.
Let's take it to headline number 2. How about the interesting QB discussion with Dana Holgorsen?
Wow.
First of all, he complimented Dylan Raiola at a level that should get anyone's attention. He said he's making throws he's never seen quarterbacks make before.
Dana is so full. We'll start with Dylan I don't know what to make of it sometimes. He's always very, very complimentary of him. And then he pulled out that comment today. His leadership is outstanding. The play is this is Dana talking. I can't do an imitation. His leadership is outstanding. The play is fantastic. And he's making throws that I've never seen before, to be honest with you. He's in a good spot, and he's ready for game day. Dylan came ready. I say it all the time. I'm sure maybe people start getting sick of me praising Dylan, but I get it. I get the whole thing. He's got to do it in the season. It goes without saying. What I say about Dylan is nobody will be better prepared. He's prepared.
Well, he's got better. I mean, just go back to like the Purdue game. Like he had receivers that could not get open, and he drew like 6 pass interference penalties because he put the ball where it was supposed to be, but those guys weren't getting open.
Right.
And luckily they drew the penalties. He's going to have better receivers that can make him better.
Yeah, it appears that way.
I mean, he's not going to have a guy at Iowa that drops a wide open touchdown pass that would have won the game on a beautifully drawn up concept by Dana Holgorsen.
I 100% agree. Don't get me started on that.
But
anyway,
the other part of this QB discussion, I think this is maybe the more interesting part to me.
Yeah, is
the number 2 spot because we entered camp thinking this was Jalen Gramstad all the way. No issues. The veteran, the 6-year savvy NAI player of the year. But we saw it with our own eyes at the open practice. You could see TJ Latif's big picture. And through 17 practices, he's definitely put himself in a battle with Gramstad for that number 2 job.
That's what Dana Holgorsen said today. And he said, I'm happy for him that he's put himself in this position. He added this. I didn't know if he would, but he has. You didn't know. I didn't know. You didn't know. Now, I would say I'd go back to the final spring practice where he got a ton of reps, Latif. And I'm not saying he set the world on fire because he did.
Are you talking about the rodeo show practice?
Yeah, the rodeo. Yes. And I thought he, just from a temperament standpoint, from a physical attribute standpoint, from the way the ball came out of his hands standpoint, I liked him. I mean, I just thought, okay, they got something to work with there. He came physically ready. He's
from a big time program.
Yeah, and he operates like a big time quarterback. And now what we got is a probably I wouldn't call it a dead heat, but Holgorsen said those guys are getting equal reps right now. So it's kind of a dead heat.
Split the twos.
How about that?
So tomorrow, Saturday, the scrimmage will be big.
Yeah, and then the other part of this that I like, and I think you like too, is Holgorsen saying that Latif, who's 6'1", 200, got a thick lower body, so he has mobility to keep plays alive. And then he said, I think he'll tuck it and go be like a running back type threat at times. That's what he he is thick in the lowers, and when he takes off, it looks really good. Gives you a little different look than Dylan, right? It's a little different look.
Yeah, they've done a good job with this room. I mean, think about how hard it was to sell a freshman to come into Lincoln when a freshman started the year before. It's not easy.
No, then Dylan has taken him under his wing, which I'm sure is helpful.
And Dylan, and that's genuine. I mean, Dylan's brother will be competing against this guy, and he's bringing him along right now.
Raiola's they're just good to have in your program. I mean, yeah, that's a good point, Sean. He's taking Latif under his wing.
It'd be kind of easy to not be chilly,
maybe,
but just be a little short. Hey, kid, you're on your own.
Yeah, dude, you're gonna be competing against my brother.
But he's bringing him along. So how
about that?
Good story in camp right now.
Really is. It's great for Latif, and now people are going to wonder about Marcos Davila. It just hasn't come along as well. I mean, that's not a knock on him. Not everybody progresses at the same rate.
Our friend Tom Dienhart at Purdue, who's tied, didn't give us he's like, this is not a guy he didn't think he would play for Nebraska.
Well, but what I'm suggesting, Sean, is he could develop.
He could develop, though. That's what Dana Holgorsen recruited him out of high school.
Yeah.
And they were in kind of a scramble mode a little bit when Kalen left.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they needed more quarterbacks because at that point,
Daniel Kalen, right?
Latif wasn't here yet.
Oh, right. That's right.
And they went out and got Marcos.
Mm-hmm. Marcos Davila.
They were in trouble. I mean, they didn't have any quarterbacks.
See, Davila could catch fire at some point. You know, I mean, that happens. Just because he's behind right now doesn't mean the race is over.
Speaking of Husker quarterback, you see Richard Torres won the Incarnate Word starting quarterback job.
I've very limited interest in that, but thanks for pointing it out.
Well, guys that have left, I'm just talking about the QB. I mean,
so Torres is getting older now, right? How old is he?
Well, his freshman year was the year Bill Bush and Mickey were coaching that.
23
or 2.
2.
Yeah.
It's 2025, brother.
2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this is he's got 2 more years of college.
Okay. He was a big gunslinger. I remember that. Yeah. Big, tall gunslinger.
All right. Well,
sorry to pour cold water on your news, but
hey, buddy, start giving the interns all your column ideas if you don't watch yourself.
Damn it!
Before we take it, headline
hold that over my
number
head.
3. Again, brought to you by StayHome.Care. Give them a call. Learn more about what they can do. They can help you, your loved ones, just with simple tasks, cleaning, laundry, rides, meal prep, you name it, companionship. They're there. And call them at 402-205-2233. All ages they work with, too. It's not just adults. I mean, you've got somebody simple that was younger, and they have all sorts of clients they help and work, all ages, all backgrounds.
Oh, yeah. It's not just the elderly.
And we've had them kind of look after you a little.
Oh, have we now?
They've done some initial checks on you.
And they found that I'm a couple years away.
I'm going to work that into your contract. Some hours of StayHome.Care. 402-205-2233. Good
idea.
Let's take it into headline. The cooking and the cleaning would come in handy for you, I'd say.
Some windows that need some help.
I don't think they do heavy yard work.
I got that covered.
Headline 3, Huskers will wear all black uniforms versus USC on November 1st. I also want to hit on the final single-digit number push, but always, I would say, controversial when you announce an alternate uniform.
Yeah.
Because unless you just go with like a straight throwback, like, hey, we're honoring the 83 team, we're going to wear the 83 jerseys.
Okay.
You're always going to kind of toe the line with the traditionalists versus the new age fans, and they'll go all black. This will be the 4th time they've done this. They did it in 19 and 20. They did it also when Bo Pelini was the coach, and they lost to UCLA in 2014.
I don't keep track of those.
But this will be the 4th all black. But I think what's going to end up happening, if I had to guess, I initially thought the USC game was going to be at 2:30 CBS, but I do think there's some legitimate chance that could end up being a night game. So if all of a sudden that USC game is NBC 6:30 under the lights, does your thought on an all black change at all?
Let's go with your opinion on that first.
Well, my initial thought
what was your initial thought?
What I think about if that game was 2:30 CBS, USC, Nebraska, CBS, say 2:30. That's college football artwork. I mean, that's a portrait of college football that
you shouldn't tinker with.
Like that when you turn on PBS on a Saturday and you see Bob Ross painting a picture, it's USC in Nebraska at 2:30.
When you go to Sheldon Art Gallery and someone brings in $1 million piece, you don't go up to them and say, you know what, I think I could add to this. No. Just leave it.
Let's give the Mona Lisa a tattoo
on her neck, a neck tattoo. Let's give her a little neck tattoo. No, you don't mess with it. Okay, it sounds to me though like the night game makes it more palatable to you. Makes it more, I think, stomachable, if you will.
It makes more sense,
but to have the black.
But that's never a guarantee though, because if the records of teams change, it changes the outlook. Those 3 prime spots, Big Noon, NBC, and CBS, they're always going to take the best games. But you USC Nebraska is not going to be at 11 a.m. because they don't put those West Coast teams at 11 because it kills the TV ratings out west.
Right.
So it's going to be 2:30 or 6:30. But yeah, that game on November 1st at night, if that was the case,
with black uniforms,
that would look pretty sweet.
Yeah, and they're handsome uniforms. I want to say that. I like the what I've seen on Twitter. I like the look of them. I'm not, I'm aged, so I don't get into this discussion too much. I just would say they're handsome. I'd prefer that they never go to them. But here's the thing. The kids like them.
Well, and Adidas pays Nebraska a lot of money, so they have a voice in this too.
Well, there's that element, but you're in tune with things. I've always felt that this is for the players more than anybody.
And Dylan Raiola got up there today, and his opening comment was how much they're excited about the alternates. In fact, as you saw, Dylan Raiola was involved in the photo shoot, and they went out to a cornfield in Seward.
You're kidding.
And it was at night.
You're kidding.
Yeah. They did a photo shoot in Seward in a cornfield for it. And he said the bugs were horrible.
God, I love this stuff.
Oh, can you imagine
hold on.
A July cornfield?
Oh, God.
Well, especially with the rain that we got in July.
I hope they had some off.
The amount of bugs just out there in that heat, followed by the rainstorms we got all July.
Oh, you better have some off. You better have some. You get bit up.
Hornet's nest I dealt with sound like nothing.
Right. Well, no, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't go nothing.
I saw a guy get stung three times.
Yeah, he doesn't want to hear you say that, by the way. I hope he's not watching. Back to the uniforms. Okay. The thing I automatically wonder was Dylan saying that? Was he asked about the uniforms or did he volunteer?
He opened his comment.
Well, my guess is he's paid by Adidas, right?
Yeah, he is a paid Adidas athlete.
Right. So, but I'm going back to what I said. Dylan's comments aside, players like this stuff. So that's why I'm fine. If that's what, the players, they're the most important part of this conversation. Not us, what the fans rank right behind them though, right? The fans, wouldn't you say, rank right behind the players? You wouldn't rank the fans ahead of the players in this conversation, would you? I wouldn't.
Again, I think
this is for players.
Right. The players and the apparel brand has a say. But I would just love to know, could Dan and our rule say we're not doing this, or are they kind of told you need to do one? And this jersey did get out. I mean, it's been kind of, some of the apparel shops had it on their site. So I think people had a fairly good idea it was coming. And they sent an email out. There was an embargo that you had to wait till 10 a.m. to release this today. Those never work, by the way. And some guy from 247 put it out at 9.
It's still a thing, I guess.
Yeah, there are 7 alternates they released today, though.
Did you notice how little interest I expressed when you were telling me all that 9 a.m., 10 a.m.? It's just like, is that breaking news? Alternate uniforms?
Now,
not to a 59-year-old.
The other thing, they're going to do this, though, too. They're going to try to make it a blackout.
Okay.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
If it's colder and it's at night, what color are most people's coats? Black, right? I mean, it'd have to be, because you can't wear a t-shirt if it's cold at night.
Right.
So you wonder what that scene will look like. But through my history of attempted blackouts, they're hard to pull off.
Yeah. Well, if Nebraska has one loss, that they'll pull it off.
Yeah, exactly.
If they're rolling, they'll pull it off. That's what it kind of comes down to. Wow, we talked a lot about alternate uniforms.
Single digit jerseys too. Okay, the final one came out
single
today.
Digit. Yeah.
And so this is interesting to me. Sierra Wright got number 1, and there was all these theories and thoughts that Dylan Raiola was going to maybe have to switch to another number. That's not the case.
Mm-hmm.
And it really, I think when you were at practice on Tuesday, here you see all these little boys wearing 15 jerseys, and man, if Dylan switched, there'd be a lot of kids that would be SOL on that number 15 jersey.
They could just go get a number 1 then.
Well, you got to pay for it.
I understand. I don't know what to make of all the single digits. I don't want to read too much into it.
And
I don't want to do that.
And there is even like a fake edit that came out with Emmett Johnson wearing number 4. It was completely wrong.
Right.
So like there was like this thing kind of went a little far this year in the offseason with people trying to project it. What I learned was I don't think anybody had any idea how it was going to go.
Yeah. I don't read into it a lot. I think there's, like I said the other day on our show, just because a guy doesn't have a single digit jersey doesn't mean he's not a leader, and doesn't mean he has really strong character. And he's a guy that the other guys don't look up to. I mean, if Dylan's wearing 15, you can't tell me Dylan's not like one of the foremost leaders on that team.
Well, and did Dylan maybe get enough votes and they opted to not give it to a quarterback?
I don't know. I'm not too worried about it.
But yeah, Javen Wright is 0. Mentioned Sierra Wright's 1.
Yeah, go through them all.
Ja'Cory Barney's number 2.
Okay.
Marquise Buford stays in 3. Janiron Bonner, who got praised heavily today by Dana Holgorsen, 4. Goes by the nickname Wood. And then Riley Van Poppel wears 5. Dane Key in 6. Malcolm Hartstock stays in number 7. Then Deshaun Singleton stays in 8. Then Vincent Shavers goes from 1 to now number 9, which his nickname was always V9.
Perfect.
So they got it all settled out. There's 10 single-digit jerseys with Sierra Wright getting the last one.
Yeah. So I don't read into who didn't get one. You could do that, but I don't think it's productive to do.
No, because there's a lot of things behind the scenes that you just don't know.
Right. I mean, so.
All right. Well, let's take it to headline number 4, again, brought to you by StayHome.Care. Call them at 402-205-2233. Learn more about them, the services they can offer you, your family. Also, want to take this reminder, August 20th, Wednesday night. So just 5 days away. HuskerOnline live show will be out at Zipline in Fallbrook. That's a 6 p.m. show. It will be a straight preseason special as we preview the offense and the defense, the Big Ten, mailbag, all the key storylines. Is we should get a great crowd. I know last year we had 300 people show up to this show, so hoping that we get a huge in-person crowd, but we know we'll get a great worldwide online crowd as well. Join us at Zipline. They'll have great drink specials, food specials, and prizes, and maybe Harley rides by Steve Stone.
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe. I don't even. Yeah, we'll just say maybe right now.
Possibly.
Yeah, we'll have updates on Monday.
Only young ladies.
Yeah, it's Friday and it's showing the way you're acting right now.
Speaking of Friday,
yeah, speaking of
headline
Friday.
4.
Okay,
Flashback Friday, and we've talked a lot about uniforms. Let's keep it on that topic for Flashback Friday. How about 2002, when Nebraska went with the very controversial gusset stripe uniforms?
It was controversial. So what we're talking about was it was a red spandex strip. It was 4 inches.
Stripe?
Yes. Yeah, I say strip stripe that ran down the side of the jerseys and down the leg. I would tell you, for some reason liked them. It was a colossal deal. I mean, God, it was
whose idea was it?
Well, Frank was the head coach, and I remember so vividly. Is what Sean? You know how many stories I've written over the years? Is like a zillion, and that this story and the way I had to pry it out of Frank to let us do it at the Journal-Star is one of the 10 stories I remember most in my life. You've been through this stuff with head coaches. You've done stuff like this. I got wind of it and I wanted to write it. And Sean, Frank didn't want it out. So I had to talk him into it. And you know what I told him? Here's what I told him. Here's the story. Frank, we're not going to listen to this, Sean. I said, Frank, we're not going to make a big deal of it. We're going to run it in the lower right-hand corner of the sports page. Okay. He didn't even want to do that. He's like, we don't need to do this because he knew it was going to cause a stir. And I said, hey, don't worry. We're not going to make a big deal of it. You know what happened? Next day, stripped across the top of the Lincoln Journal-Star and not the sports section. Stripped across the top of 1A. Frank actually handled it pretty well, but I had some explaining to do. And I just said, Frank, I guess they just determined that the magnitude of the story was such that we put it, and Sean, I think this was the springtime. And my recollection was it leaked, and I always wondered, did they try to leak it to put it out there to see how people would react?
Yeah, that thing though, like on top of the year too, it was like a historically bad year at that time where the team finished 7-7. They fired coaches and they changed the uniforms. So,
well, they changed before. Yeah, they changed after 01. It was after the 01 season.
And I mean, as I'm saying, the 7-7 season was 02.
Right.
And so not only did they switched these uniforms up, they had a historically bad year.
Right. That doesn't help the memory of them. What if they would have won 11 games with the gussets? Would it change the way people looked at them?
No, and you
don't think so?
I don't know. I don't think people really got behind him. I thought the stripe was just too aggressive.
The Broncos used them.
Right. That's what people said. They kind of look like knockoff Broncos uniforms.
I don't know why they did it. I still don't really know why. Is it maybe because that 62-36 rattled them and they thought, let's have a kind of a fresh start, including new uniforms? They got beat 62-36 and they got whipped pretty bad in the Rose Bowl, if you remember, right?
And they just go with completely different uniforms. Sorry, I was juggling news there. Some breaking news.
What?
Omaha Central 2027 defensive back, 5-star Torrey Pittman commits to Nebraska. So that's why everyone's scrambling, because it's Friday at 4:00
and nobody knew,
and nobody really knew he was going to announce. So there you go, Torrey Pittman. That's a big one.
How's Munson doing right now?
Well, he's driving, and he just called me, so I couldn't pick up as we're on the air. Okay. I made the posting on the board, but Torrey did like an announcement commitment video
as we were doing this. You posted it on the board. That's impressive, Sean. Pittman, what's your take on that?
Significant commit.
Yeah,
one of the highest ranked in-state commits maybe ever. I mean, as far as his ranking.
So he kept it quiet.
I mean, our colleague Greg Smith from Rivals, he had a crystal or a RPM pick in for Pittman to Nebraska for a while. So big hat tip to Greg.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely,
he's been on that.
Absolutely,
and he had that in a while
nice
ago.
Job,
so Greg had a great feel, but the hardened veterans that we are, you just never know on a guy like that. You're always a little leery, just to, think that Nebraska is going to get a 5-star that easily.
What a day! So
Torrey Pittman joins Trey Taylor, and
wow,
you're starting to look at this 2027 recruiting class. It's on paper stacking up to a dang good class.
Well, those two guys right
and he's
there.
I'll correct myself here. He's not a 5-star yet, but he's the number 23 player in the nation.
Trending that way.
And as they finalize the rankings, the top 32 are 5-stars. So if he holds at 23, he will be a 5-star. Rivals has him at 16 on ESPN 23, 24/7 Sports 34.
Who are we giving credit to? Is that Addison Williams we're giving credit to?
Yeah, there's really not like an in-state recruiter, so to speak. So I don't know. But yeah, this thing caught everybody by surprise. We don't even have a national shell story on this up yet.
Well, you got to give Addison Williams some level of credit here, because the kid obviously feels confident in what Nebraska has at his position, right? Same with the defensive coordinator. And you know what? The defensive coordinator could really go to this kid and say, hey, by the way, look what my Buffalo Bills secondary looked like for 5 years. Look at the numbers it produced. Look at the players. Look at what the players have said about me. Butler could sell himself pretty well to a player like that, right?
No doubt. I mean, I just think
same with Addison Williams.
Well, and I think for Nebraska, you look at NIL, you can theoretically pay high school guys earlier. So what is the incentive for a Torrey Pittman to commit this early? Well, possibly, and I don't know these things off, but he could potentially start getting payments from schools. I mean, that's how the rules are right now.
Right.
There's nothing stopping that.
And Nebraska has money.
And so,
hey, Nebraska has money. They can do it.
They clearly sold him, and this is a big one for Nebraska to get Torrey Pittman this early on. I anticipated this being like a dogfight, and they got it wrapped up before the war even started.
Got to keep recruiting him, though, as you know.
No doubt. I mean, he'll be getting calls to go take trips and visits all year. So major win from Matt Rule.
Pittman's personality, I don't know him personally, but I've seen enough. You correct me if I'm wrong here. He doesn't seem like the type of personality that would shop himself around.
You know, he does the 7-on-7 stuff though on a national level.
Okay.
So you just
this seems no nonsense kid though. To
no,
me.
I mean, and Abdul Muhammad is his.
Oh, nice, love it.
But a big one and kind of segue. I didn't mean to hijack.
No, 100% fine. No, but
striped uniforms or 5-star recruits. I'll take the 5-star recruits.
Yeah, Abdul Muhammad.
But let's
Hey, great dude.
Abdul, yeah,
does
a great job in Omaha.
Great job.
Dude. Let's take it to headline 5 before we do that again. We're brought to you by StayHome.Care. Call them at 402-205-2233. Also, still time to get your tickets to Husker at the K on August 29th.
Okay.
Not only is it the Nebraska night and Kauffman Stadium, you could get a Nebraska-themed windbreaker. It's also Bobby Witt Jr. bobblehead night, which we learned that you didn't realize how.
No, hold on. Can I clear something up in the comments? This was I was mildly annoyed. There's some people that insinuate I didn't know who Bobby Witt Jr. was. Of course, I know who Bobby Witt Jr. was. I don't know why. Where did it come out that I didn't know who Bobby Witt Jr. is?
You didn't seem like getting a bobblehead doll for a future Hall of Famer was that impressive. And I think Robin and I are kind of like surprised. Like Bobby Witt Jr. is a big deal.
I don't even know that I expressed that. I know who Bobby. I've seen at bats.
It's Bobby Witt Jr. bobblehead night and firework night. So you could walk out of Kauffman Stadium with a Husker windbreaker, a Bobby Witt Jr. bobblehead doll, and a fireworks show.
Wow.
If you're lucky.
And maybe a handshake from Sean Callahan.
Possibly. I'm not going to be throwing out any pitches though.
No.
But yeah, we have great deals on tickets on our website on the show bio. Go down below and click the link on our YouTube page. You'll get discounts on your tickets, your parking. There's still some spots left to jump in and get this discount on both tickets and parking on the direct link that we have here on the website. That's Husker at the K, August 29th, as Nebraska plays the night before against Cincinnati. But let's go headline 5, odds and ends. All right, Michigan. We now know Sharon Moore will not coach in Lincoln. It's part of.
But that was already the case.
Yeah, it's official.
Okay.
But the NCAA fired back with their sanctions. And I think the most significant one are the financial hits. But Michigan now has fired back that they are going to, of course, appeal what's going on. So it's going to be a long battle in divorce court here. I mean, it's going to be.
It's already been a battle. Denard Robinson's got hit pretty hard. 3-year show cause. What was he doing?
Well, he's an assistant coach.
So, yeah, he got hit. The thing that I'm just going to go ahead and lay it out here. This is Harbaugh's deal, right? Harbaugh, who I think we both have expressed, that we like him. I like him. Admiration for. This has changed it a little bit. He always would come off as this sort of pristine. The image was pristine, right? What did his family always say? Who's got it better?
Nobody.
Right, nobody. They had this kind of beautiful upbringing, but now it's like, hey, Jim, you have a show cause that's banned you from college football for 15 years, which basically means
life.
You're to be banned from a sport. Think about that. To be banned from a profession. It's not small. That's not a small thing. He's got a 15-year show cause. He's banned from college football. He couldn't come back if he wanted to. I don't know what to make of it. Like this is about as serious as it gets for him. But what's he care? Sean?
I would still say overall for the program, it's nothing like what USC got. It's nothing like what Penn State got. It's nothing like what SMU got. Like Michigan football is still going to be able to operate as a healthy blue blood in a lot of respects.
Yeah.
I mean, the
No
financial
postseason ban is what you're talking about.
postseason ban,
Right.
no real scholarship hit. There is a financial hit, but yeah, it's
I think they.
51 games, by the way. Connor Stallions organized scouts out. 51 games.
It's illegal to do that. You can scout. You can steal signs in a game,
but you can't
within a game.
You can't send somebody.
Right.
You know, Bill Callahan, as a young assistant, got in trouble for that. He went out and scouted. He was at Illinois.
Uh-huh.
And I think he went up, was it Wisconsin or another team, and he went up and scouted their game. And they even went up into the coach's box after the game and tried to take sheets that were like laying around.
Not good.
They got caught.
Yeah, and I hope I don't come off as holier than thou as it pertains to Harbaugh. The reason I broach that is because Harbaugh comes off as holier than thou sometimes. Now what? Now he's just off in the NFL counting his money. He probably doesn't care. But think about the lives that are affected. A lot of guys, Sean, lives are affected by this.
All right, let's move on. Odds and ends discussion here because we got a lot to cover. How about the Bud Light cans?
Boy,
Nebraska announces, obviously, they're going to sell beer in the stadium.
Do you have a
They're
picture?
not just going to sell beer. I mean, they're going to have custom Nebraska football Bud Light cans.
Yeah.
And this kind of throws you back to the 80s when there used to be like Coors Light cans with Herbie Husker on it. And there was the Falstaff beer cans. They used to have the schedules on it. Now we have Bud Light cans with the end.
Yeah. Lori, of all people, Lori was about as excited as Trixie as anybody I've ever seen about this. So there's people that are excited about this.
Now there's hardened beer drinkers that aren't big Bud Light fans.
Is that right?
Yeah, Busch Light, you know, it is. But Airmark is known, like we know people in this industry, and they said when Airmark came here that Bud Light would be just like when you go to Arrowhead Stadium, Bud Light's their key beer there, and that's Airmark run as well. But yeah, the Husker Inn on the can.
That's pretty cool.
I wonder if they'll sell those in stores everywhere too. I would assume they would.
Any way you shake it, it's pretty cool, but don't shake it because it'll blow up. But I like it. I like the look. Great idea by Bud Light. They need great ideas.
It's funny though, you can do this now, but like the NIL beer, you could have no like sign of Nebraska on the cans.
All right.
Keep Bud Light. That's a good one. All right.
Keep moving there, Sean.
Odds and ends, Dayton Raiola, and mentioned earlier, Dylan Raiola threw a party to watch his brother's opening game as a senior for Buford, rented out the rooftop of Barry's. Dayton put on a show. They beat Milton, who beat them last year. Milton was the best team in Georgia. So this is a major win for Buford, who ranks number 7 in our On3 National High School poll. But they're probably the number 1 team in Georgia right now. And Dayton Raiola, it jumped out to me. He uncorked the ball 65 yards down the field.
He's got and it wasn't his only deep pass. He threw some beautiful deep passes. The one you're referring to, there's an interference call. He got a flag on it. He has a strong arm. His mobility is excellent. As you'd expect, just like his brother, he manages games really well, right? He knows they just understand the game at a high level. He just knows what to do. So he didn't have to do much in the second half because Buford had 2 interceptions, 1 return for a touchdown, 1 return inside the 10. He didn't have to do much in the second half. He put on a bit of a show in the first half. So, and come on, Sean, do you know how beneficial it is to be the quarterback for the number 1 team in Georgia? He plays in a $62 million stadium. He's playing around talent. Those guys he's playing against and with that will be better than some guys that are playing against Nebraska this year. I mean, what I'm getting at is he'll be so prepared.
What a spectacle that had to be out there to have those 2 heavyweights playing on that stadium.
It's a big time game. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all in, but Dayton Raiola looked great last night, had a big game. The whole team watched him play. And then finally, this got my attention because I could see Nebraska fans doing this. West Virginia has a 3-game series with Ohio. Okay. So 2 are going to be in Morgantown. 1 is going to be in Athens, Ohio. That's this year. West Virginia fans, about an hour or so away from Morgantown to Athens, they helped Ohio sell out their season tickets for the whole year. because it was 60. It's $60 to buy the season ticket package, and evidently to buy just the individual ticket for the game, West Virginia versus Ohio, it costs more than $60. I don't know who came up with that plan.
Not good.
So Ohio State or Ohio or West Virginia fans just bought out all the tickets.
Wouldn't you anticipate that if you were the AD for Ohio?
It's going to cause kind of a ticket market problem too, because all your tickets are going to be on like StubHub for like $5.
Great.
For all the other games.
Great. I ask, wouldn't you anticipate this?
The only time I could ever remember a game, I mean, Colorado, obviously, and some of these games for Nebraska used to be like that. But when Nebraska played at Wyoming, that's kind of what it was like. Do you remember that?
Of course I remember. Yes.
I mean, it was like they took the big rock concert to a much smaller venue.
Right.
And played a game in Laramie. I mean, it was.
So it felt, and this is probably more pronounced even. Good on West Virginia fans, and that is a fervent fan base. I mean, that's like a Nebraska fan base.
Yeah, they're the only Power 4 state that has a smaller population than Nebraska. They're like 1.7. Nebraska's like 1.95. Wow. So it's a small state, but they're going to take over Athens. And I've heard, you know what? I've heard Athens is fun.
Yeah. I don't know.
Big like bar scene. Like Ohio State students actually go up to Athens to party because the bars are a lot more fun.
Yeah, I'm not very familiar with that neck of the woods, Sean.
Nope, but yeah, Nebraska fans would definitely do that.
For sure. Good on West Virginia fans. Bad on the AD not to see that ball coming.
Yeah, because now you're just gonna have all your tickets are gonna be on StubHub and SeatGeek for like the minimum price you can sell them.
It gives me a headache and I have no involvement. Come on now.
The big weekend. Remember, scrimmage will be later, so our coverage on HuskerOnline will be a little bit later on Saturday night. Got a book signing as well. I'll be in Omaha at the Bookworm.
The Bookworm? Where's that?
It's like 90th and Center area.
Okay.
100, like in that West Side. It used to be by West Side High School. They moved to a new store, but I'll be there for a signing from 2 to 3.
Will you converse with people?
Yes, absolutely.
Put your little signature on there.
Had a big book week. We had a lot of events I did all week, and got one.
God, I know. Me and Robin were talking. I don't know how you do it.
I don't either.
Yeah, but you don't seem tired. You seem refreshed.
I do.
Are you just excited because the season's almost upon?
I'm lucky I got one of the last blue craniums.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to red.
You want to switch to red?
I'm going to red. These things are critical to our show.
Critical
to our show. Like obviously critical to you because you get some zip. Late on Friday afternoon, I'm usually running out of zip. Not today.
Thought it was maybe a little too early to pop a zip line up on the show, so I stuck with the cranium.
It was a fun show.
All right, well, make sure we'll be back next week. We'll have one more week of kind of our off-season schedule, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, with 2 headlines, Mayhem Monday, Flashback Friday, and a HuskerOnline show at Zipline. Then we will transition to our in-season schedule where the post-game show kind of becomes our third show of the week. So looking forward to that. Make sure you follow us here on YouTube, subscribe to our channel. For Steve Sipple, I'm Sean Callahan, signing off here for HuskerOnline Headlines.